All right, guys. Isaac's Insights. In this one, yes, I did two this morning because I'm really excited for this week. This one is about fantasy football. And here's a fantasy football tip. All the experts, the people that have played for a while, probably do this. But defenses matter. And to me, what I do is I start perusing the defenses after week 2, week 3, start looking for trends, looking at schedules that are going to be coming up. And if I believe in that defense, and I'm starting to buy the Broncos and the Packers, not just being a homer, we create a lot of turnovers. I don't know if that's going to continue. Those trends don't always stick for a season, but I like this Packer D with McKinney, with Halfley. If they can get even more pressure, I think they're going to be in great shape, and they've got some cupcake games on their schedule. But the Steelers D, if you didn't already, most people had those, but I actually picked up the Steelers D in a league. So defenses, kickers matter. Those things around the edges. I don't love streaming Ds every week. I'd rather get two that I like their matchups and run with them. That's just my basic advice. I made a mistake last week. Like, this has come from a guy. I have 5 teams. My freaking Dynasty team's owned for. I'm super ticked. My first year ever doing Dynasty. And I've had Keenan Allen, which was probably a mistake at this point. I don't know, but he might come on with the Bears. But he's been banged up and not doing well. Addison's missed time. He's at a 0 right now in the middle of that game. But he looked great last week against the Packers. But, I mean, we make a lot of receivers look great sometimes. Especially when their starting 2 corners are out. But, it is what it is. But in that league, I also have DeAndre Swift. And I sat him last week. I still would have lost. But he's been a bust. Stevenson might get benched. He's getting fumbled. I have Nick Chubb stashed. And that's another thing. I love stashing players if your team can withstand it early on. I have Nick Chubb in 3 leagues. And I think it's going to pan out. I hope. This is me saying this now, watching 3 weeks. It won't, but I hope it pans out. I'm also stashing Hawkinson in a few leagues. Stashes are smart because they can really help your team later on if it's a great player like Nick Chubb. But I'm 4-0 in 2 other leagues, 3-1 and 2-2. Those are my 5 teams. So take my advice with a grain of salt if you want. But I played fantasy for 25 years. I go look for those kickers and Ds because those few points can make up the difference. And then you got to watch the matchups, and you've got to flip your players right before. You can sometimes pick up a guy and start him. What do y'all think? Please like and subscribe.